Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Every time you read a book, one thing that at least comes to my mind is this going to be a plot that I have read before or a storyline that I have read before? And if not, how does the author come up with this content? What is the content? Well, we have our main character, and she had dealt with a bad situation, so bad that her name is Charlotte, by the way. While she was working, her and her man, Zach, were working towards starting a family. They didn't get pregnant. They didn't get pregnant. It didn't happen. Now, it's the 10-year anniversary, and Charlotte is determined that this is going to be the time that she's actually going to get pregnant. But Zach has news for her. No, I'm sorry. I've got something to tell you. Well, what does Zach have to tell Charlotte? You know that money and all that time and all that energy we put into having children? I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm just going to say it. I had a vasectomy. We'll never have children. That led to basically Charlotte leaving Zach and the two get divorced. So she starts over. Okay? Now, what she does is she goes and she does something that's completely out of character for her. She meets somebody at a bar, and the two have a one-night stand. Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. She's going to go back to getting on her feet. Okay? Well, she discovers that she's pregnant. Okay? Now, I don't know how much to tell you without telling you a spoiler, but let's just say that when she finds out she's pregnant, there's a caveat. Charlotte has two good friends, okay? One friend that she's very close to, and then there's a third person that she's pretty much close to as well, but their bond isn't as tight. But nonetheless, the trio are all friends, okay? So she goes to a dinner party. And she finds out that her friend's husband is the man that she slept with. How do they handle it? They play it off. Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Goodbye. Blah, blah, blah. At the end of the dinner party. But that's not the end of the thing. The book is called The Dilemma. So what is the dilemma? First thing is, she had the one-night stand. Second thing is, it was her husband, her friend's husband, whom she had never met. Even though her friend and her husband had been married for years, they just never met. She's pregnant, and the child that she soon has is in a predicament and really needs something. And that last part, the child is in a predicament and needs something, I have to be careful because I don't want to give you any spoilers. Now, if Charlotte and her friend Tiffany, or Tiffany's husband, whom she slept with, I kind of want to say accidentally, because she didn't know that the man she slept with was married, nor did she know the man that she slept with was Tiffany's husband. Now, there's a web of secrets going on here. How much is Charlotte going to tell her friends? Again, she had a best friend, her name was Annabelle, and then there's Tiffany. Annabelle and Tiffany are pretty close, and Annabelle and Charlotte are pretty close, but the bond between Tiffany and Charlotte isn't as strong. But yet, they're friends. But how well do they know each other? Because we've got this big secret of the fact of that one night stand. And it did not come without consequences. Because as mentioned, Charlotte has a baby boy. And when she has this baby, a test is placed in front of them. The test, another word for test is dilemma. A dilemma faces Charlotte, and it's going to have a ripple effect on her relationships, most notably with Tiffany and Tiffany's husband. Okay. Now, I had mentioned at the beginning of this review whether or not the author could write a storyline that was different than what I have read. And I will say yes, because although Secrets and Lies were kind of the cornerstone of this book, we have long-range consequences based on a single act or activity that could decimate the lives of several people. Now, I think I'm going to go 4 stars with this book, and I'll tell you why. I love Julia Roberts. I really do. But there was something that was thrown into this book at the end that kind of shook down this from 5 stars to 4. But 4 stars is still a very good rating, because it's still a very, very, very good book. And one of the things that I will say about this book without giving you a spoiler is the dilemma had a moral impact. Okay? There was a moral impact in this story that pulled these characters together as easily as it could have ripped them all apart. And so I like I said, I love the book. I'm not going to I might go 5 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. I won't fully know until I start typing up the review. I have to think about that other caveat that was thrown in later in the book and decide if I'm going to let that flavor how my long-range view of thinking about this book in the future will be. But I'll tell you, that dilemma that Charlotte was facing, any mother that would be in the position that she found herself in is going to think about this book long after it's been read. And that's going to be the case with me. Sorry, my cat jumped up. I was trying to make sure he didn't knock over my coffee. So that is it for the dilemma. I want to thank you for watching. Bye-bye.